PPs, welcome back. It's the best ep yet. You guys know it, and you guys want to know really why it's the best ep yet?
Oh, I know why.
Wes, why is today, episode 32, the best ep to date?
Because PPs, we're about to get intimate. It is just me, Wesman, and TCB and this dude.
Oh, my goodness.
And this dude, my dudes. It's about to get on a different level. You know me and TCB. If you're a PP,
right,
you know that TCB and I like to get into it.
We go at it
arguments.
A little bit.
We do. And in the recent departure of Mike and Mike,
right,
the Mike and Mike show, we've come to realize that there needs to be a replacement for that.
Right.
So we're the new era Mike and Mike. I'm Golick, of course.
Wait, you're the athlete?
I'm the athlete.
You're the athlete.
I'm the big athlete. Yes, I played D1 college football.
Okay,
just like Golick, and you're the weenie.
I'm the weenie.
Yes.
Hey, at least Greeny likes to play some tennis. I was a good tennis player back in the day.
You were a good tennis player. Decent.
That's right. Hey, 33-4, okay? Not too bad. All right. But hey, guys, we got to transition into a little bit of real sports. We're talking baseball because, guys, it is the All-Star week, and it's actually kind of intriguing. But first of all, we're going to be talking a little bit of standings at the break. Wes, what are some intriguing things you see in the standings in MLB?
Well, first of all, you have to highlight the Red Sox. Just an absolute tear in the first half.
My goodness.
68 wins? Are you kidding me?
68-30.
Unreal. And in the same division with the Yankees.
Right.
It's very tough. They have incredible hitting and pitching. They're poised.
Oh, my goodness. They're so good. They have Mookie Betts, who might be better than Mike Trout this year. Nobody talks about him. And then all of a sudden, they got JD Martinez, a Tiger ripoff, hitting 29 home runs, almost batting .330. Why is it always the guys that leave the Tigers, then they start balling? You see Max Scherzer, he's starting in the All-Star game. What's going on with that?
Detroit versus everybody.
It really is. It really is. One thing that sticks out to me, Wes, in the standings, kind of to stay in the East over there, is the Yankees are 4.5 out. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer at the break, but the Red Sox are really starting to kind of distance themselves from the Yankees. Do you think that the Yankees need to make a move? Maybe Manny Machado?
Manny Machado, that would be unreal. Just an absolutely stacked team. One of the best infielders in the game.
Yeah.
I've heard he likes to play shortstop, though. He considers himself to be a shortstop. Yeah. And we know with Ben Kuchnerkevich's take
about Didi
Gregorius being better than Derek Jeter, you can't move him from shortstop.
Well, first of all, that is a false take. That is just not true.
Well, so you'd have three Yankees that it would be the best shortstops of all time.
Of all time, right? Yeah. You can just chalk them all up. One thing that I want to do is highlight the Tigers a little bit. We were like, okay, the AL Central is trashed, complete garbage. The last time we covered baseball a little bit more in depth, but the Indians have been on a tear as of late, having 52 wins. Very impressive, but the Tigers are completely out of it. They're 12.5 back, 41 wins compared to the Red Sox 68. What happened to the Tigers?
You know, it's better than we predicted.
I guess.
If you roll back the take, we argued, would they win 40 games or not?
We thought they might have the worst season in the history of MLB.
So watch out for those Tigers. They're not last. I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs,
right.
But
the one thing that I'm scared of is the fact that they might just sell everything. They have an all-star caliber player who got snubbed in Nick Castellanos, and they're also thinking about trading their ace, Michael Fulmer. Why would you do that? These guys are young guys that you can have in the future to build a young team around, but you never know because they are, like we said, completely out of it.
But Toby, what would happen with those guys? You just talked about them. They'd go and become all-stars for another team.
Exactly. And the Tigers would get measly prospects that don't pan out. That's been the kind of thing for the Tigers as of late, is they're trying to amass all these young guys. They had the number one pick. Let's just hope that some of these prospects pan out.
A team that I want to talk about is the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Somewhat out of nowhere. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and one of the nearest teams we have, and the team we cheer for down there, is the Atlanta Braves. And for the past couple of years, they have been just god-awful. But they are only a half game back to the Phillies. Not bad. Not looking bad.
That's true. And they have an MVP candidate in Freddie Freeman over there at first base. They got good pitching, Julio Teheran as well. But what about the other team in that division that's leading them by a half a game. The Phillies.
Yeah, the Phillies. Yeah, they're good. I thought you were going to talk about the Mets. I really like to talk about the Mets because they have a great farm system.
I heard that one guy in particular is balling out.
Yes, he's in Double-A. He is batting .270. You know his name, Tim Tebow.
I thought he was a football player.
No, he can do it all.
Okay.
You know, he can get the ladies. He can go to the Philippines and
God bless.
And do work for Jesus.
That's
and
right.
he can also play baseball.
Exactly, he can. And why are the Mets? The Mets are trash, okay? There's no way around it. They have some good pieces. Jacob deGrom, one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball. Why is Tim Tebow still at Double-A? You would be selling out Shea Stadium if he was playing up there.
If they pulled up Tim Tebow, they might break records for ticket sales.
Exactly.
They'd have to bus in people from across the country, from Canada even.
Right.
They would. Who wouldn't want to see Tebow?
Exactly. I mean, like you said, he's no slouch. He was picked to the Double-A All-Star team.
No slouch, batting .270.
He's got some power.
My father is obsessed with the guy. He loves Tebow. He'll even track his games live online because, of course, you can't get Double-A games on TV.
No.
So he tracks him. My dad calls me up. I'm asleep. It's 9 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday. He calls me, leaves me a voicemail and saying, Tim Tebow's on a tear. He went 3 for 5 last night. He's moved up 40 points in batting average in 40 days.
Okay.
He's on the move. The Mets better calling him up. All of this. The man is obsessed.
I mean, listen, one thing that I've noticed, there has been a lot more coming to light of the troubles of minor league baseball. Like, you're getting paid like $85 every 2 weeks. There was an actual picture of a paycheck of that. So I want to know, Tim Tebow going from making millions of dollars, being known all over the world, to Double-A, he has to want to be making the majors pretty soon because he's got to be getting sick of that.
Yeah, all that investment in it, he better have it all pay off soon. And Mets, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
A New York favorite. People forget he was a Jet.
He wasn't
He played
very
for
good.
the Jets. So
But he
just a New York legend up there with the top. He's a New York guy. He belongs there in the majors.
Yeah, I definitely agree. To move to the west side of the NL, we got to talk about the Rockies because it's Ben Kuchnerkovich's favorite team. The Rockies, listen, Ben works with me, so I have to get an earful about the Rockies every single day. And he's telling me that they're on a tear, which they are. They're only 2 games back of the Dodgers and 1.5 games back of the Diamondbacks. They've got hitting. Trevor Story just hit a walk-off home run. They got Nolan Arenado, an all-star this year as well. They've got a pretty good team, but, man, it's hard to pick against the Dodgers. They've been doing it time and time again.
Dude, that is a tough division.
It is.
And I'm looking at the Dodgers like they're a pretty stacked team. They've got one of the best pitchers in baseball,
right?
And they're only up half a game to the Diamondbacks. That is a tough division.
The Diamondbacks are really good this year. And the Giants have 50 wins, and they're in 4th place. Like you said, a very deep division.
That's right. Enough of baseball, though. Let's talk about the best part of baseball.
Right.
And that is the home run derby.
But is it the best part, though?
It's the part I might consider watching.
Right. I mean, I guess, but the only name for home runs that I'm looking at is Bryce Harper. Where are the other big names?
No big names. Last year, we had Aaron Judge, of course.
He just destroyed.
Before we get into it,
Yeah.
Toby, please explain to me, what is a derby?
A derby? Wes, what do you, like the word derby? I don't know. What does derby mean?
You have the Kentucky Derby, you have the home run derby. What the heck is a derby?
I don't know. Do you know?
Are we derbying right now?
We might be.
Might be.
Are we prattle derbying? We might be. But yeah, I want to get into this home run derby just a little bit and why there's no big names. First of all, what is the benefit of doing a home run derby? The only thing I can see is you ruining your swing for the second half, especially if you're a contender. So why would a guy like Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, why would they go and ruin their swing just to hit some balls out of the park, which they do every day? I don't understand it. So why would you? You need to give them some incentive. Am I right?
Right. The incentive would probably be to get your name out and just show out and prove yourself as one of the better home
That's
run
why the young
hitters.
guys are doing it.
Yeah, and it's probably a lot of fun.
I mean, I guess.
But if you look at the bigger picture, and Aaron Judge, being a young guy, he's wizened up. Is that right? Wizened up?
I think so.
And he decided to pass on the home run derby this year because last year it did mess up his swing.
Yeah, he did have well, it might just be rookie, like hitting a rookie wall a little bit. But yes, he definitely had a worse second half than the first half.
That's right. And with this year them being in contention, maybe a World Series favorite, dare I say.
Maybe.
It's important that they stay ready to go for the playoffs coming in a couple months here. So, I agree with you. Why would a player that's at the top of their game give that up to go and work the hardest they've ever done this entire season? Can you imagine swinging that many times that hard? That'd be tiring.
Yeah, baseball players don't have to work that hard ever.
Sheesh.
Exactly. Why would you do that? And listen, me being the all-knowing sports, I know everything about sports, right? So I have a solution.
Not to brag.
Not to brag. I'm not bragging, but it's true. I have a solution. I think what you need to do is do something similar to what the NBA did this year. You remember watching the NBA All-Star Game, right, Wesman?
I do. It was thrilling.
It was a great All-Star Game, and we hadn't had a great NBA All-Star Game in years. So what I think the difference between the NBA All-Star Game and a thing like the Home Run Derby is money. Everybody, money talks. Okay, money talks. And I think that if you were to give the players like maybe $75,000 to $100,000, maybe more if you win, and then match it by giving it to a charity of their choice, I think you see a guy like Mike Trout, a guy like Aaron Judge, as we had said before, these big-name guys in the Home Run Derby. Wes, what do you think about that?
I think that would definitely work. We saw it work in the NBA already, first year. I think charity does create a boost for anyone. And if you say, Aaron Judge, why aren't you doing this? What about the kids?
Right.
He's like, oh no, now I have to do it.
Exactly.
And so then you might see a better scenario with some of the top dogs coming to do that. What could backfire though is that even so, it's about their career and about the season. Is that really worth it for only a few $100,000? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
They might just sign the check instead and say, I'm not going to ruin my swing. Here's the check. I can't do this.
That could be. And I think kind of what's getting me a little bit is when I was growing up, when I used to love watching baseball, all the big names were in the Home Run Derby. Ken Griffey Jr., he won the thing like 3 times. Bobby Abreu, Josh Hamilton set a record.
Oh, that was an unreal
It was, and those were fun to watch. Even last year was fun to watch with Aaron Judge. But like I said, the big names just aren't in it this year. It's more of the guys looking to make a name for themselves. And that's kind of what changed between, for me at least, wanting to watch the Home Run Derby and having it just be another thing.
Right, yeah, I do enjoy the Derby. I love the back, gone.
Right, yeah.
And that's just fun to watch. And, with we talk about softball. I like hitting home runs. Home runs is a great feeling, and watching a great feeling. Watching a home run is a great feeling. Just the crack of the bat, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, having the not top names, like some of the names I don't even recognize, and a lot of baseball names I don't recognize at all. But it would be better if we did have the top dogs.
Right, well, for sure, for sure. One thing that I do want to mention before we get off of the train of baseball just a little bit is Bryce Harper, okay? Bryce Harper, he's batting 6th tomorrow, probably because he plays for the Nationals. It's in Nationals Park. But Bryce Harper, to me, is not an all-star, and he doesn't deserve this huge money that he's expected to get in the offseason. This man is batting .212 right now.
212.
.212. Bryce Harper, Wes, what do you have to say to Bryce Harper about batting .212?
Bryce Harper, get out my face.
Exactly. Get out of my face, too. Because you cannot be an all-star batting .212. Sure, you're hitting 20-plus homers. Yeah, your OPS is decent. But guess what? You need to be able to put the ball in play and get a hit. And he's just not doing it.
Yeah, I do want to see better. Maybe if he grew up somewhere other than Vegas, he'd realize that it's not about him. It's about the baseball game,
right.
And it's about getting on base. Bryce Harper, I want better. How about this? You cut your hair, you get rid of the attitude, and maybe you get a little bit more like Mike Trout.
Hey, there you go. I mean, he is always compared to Mike Trout, and it's pretty obvious which one is winning that battle as of now. That is for sure. But to get off of baseball just a little bit, though the All-Star game is tomorrow night, so that will be super fun to watch. But Wes, I want to transition just a little bit into college football. How does that sound?
I love college football.
As do I. And the reasoning we're talking a little bit of college football is, guys, we got a big name guest tonight.
Huge.
It's a huge name. Okay, it really is. And he plays college football for the University of Michigan. But one thing that I want to talk about before we get to our guest is this new redshirt rule, okay? It gives a lot more leniency for the players to be able to play in their freshman year and then get redshirted. I think this could be used very strategically by teams that have a real chance at the national championship.
That's right, and some of the best talent that comes into college football can play right away. And this is advantageous, except for the part that they're really not that experienced in the speed of the game and the strength and the speed that it takes to play right away. So what you can do now at this change, the rule is you can play up to 4 games and still get redshirted and not lose a year of eligibility. Of course, you have 4 years of eligibility coming into college. So if you play the 4 games, you get redshirted, you still have four left. So when a freshman can come in and play 4 games, get tried out, kind of on a big stage, maybe you have a kind of a layup game. Say you're Alabama or Michigan, you have an easy game in the first or second week.
Right.
Throw out your freshmen, let them play, let them get them some experience, and if they look great, maybe throw them in the next week. And if they look even better, maybe you consider starting them for the rest of the season. So this gives coaches a lot of power to decide, do I really want to play this freshman or should I wait?
Wes, I really like that. And I think that's the difference between college football and college basketball is because college basketball is getting so much younger. But college football is staying at those redshirt sophomore, juniors, even seniors balling out, taking the majority of the time. So with this new redshirt rule, you're able to get guys that might not have the opportunity to get playing time and might get redshirted, give them 3 games or 2 games just to get it under their belt so they're ready once these other guys graduate and head off to the NFL.
In our last episode, we talked a lot about Jake Fromm and Tua Tagovailoa.
Maybe.
Both 2 true freshmen that started and played amazing. So if these teams can bring in these freshmen and right away see what they can do on the college football stage and see that they can really do it, that gives them a lot of advantage to give them their 4 years. I mean, if it doesn't work out, you still have the 4 years.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think we're going to be seeing more freshman impact, especially early on, than we have ever seen before in college football.
Right, and I don't know if there's any bad reactions to this new rule, but I don't have any problem with it at all. Just let them. What's wrong with it? I mean, they play 4 games, so what?
I guess the one thing would be is it is a third of their season. So are you really saying you only have 4 years of eligibility? It's almost like 4.5 years of eligibility. I guess that'd be the only thing. But is that really a bad thing? I don't think so.
I don't think so, and especially if some guys get injured and you have to throw one guy in for a game or even a play, and somehow that screws up a year of eligibility, that'd be tough.
Yeah, for sure. But guys, talking college football, we have a very special guest. It is University of Michigan defensive back Benjamin St. Juste. Benjamin, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
No problem.
So, Ben, one thing that I want to start with is I saw on your Twitter, well, first of all, you're from Quebec, right?
Yep, Montreal.
Right. So you're French, so you were absolutely rooting the heck out of France in the World Cup. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Bro, you can't really like soccer. Come on.
I mean, hey, I played a lot of sport when I was young. I started with soccer, hockey, football, basketball, pretty much everything. So, any team from any French team, any team from back home, hockey or football, anything, I'll be rooting for them or supporting them.
That's sweet. So you speak French?
Yeah, that's my native language.
That's awesome. You want to give us some?
Je suis en ce moment dans une entrevue au téléphone pour les Michigan du Wolverine.
Easy, man. We don't swear on this podcast. I'm just messing. French is the language of love, right? You want to give me something that I can say to the ladies?
Yeah, you can say something like "tu es très belle," which it means you're pretty, you're beautiful.
Very nice. I like that.
They're probably not gonna know what it is, but you know what it is, and you can tell them. They're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, you know a little French."
And it sounds good too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Hey, we really appreciate it, especially Wes being the single man over here.
Yeah, I'm going to need that.
Hey, so one thing I was curious about, Ben, was being from Canada, your recruitment for football must have been an interesting one. How did that go, especially with like the coaches, and how did they kind of reach out to you?
So So the thing with Canada that's different from the U.S., we don't get the same exposure. Usually the players from Canada, like the good players that have a lot of talent, they come to the U.S. to play high school ball. They come to do camps and all that. So me, I was a pretty good player in my league and all that, and I wanted, like, to get some exposure, but I wasn't getting any like from when I was, like, Montreal and Canada. So I had to come to Michigan. That was back in 2015. I asked my parents to go do this one camp. There was a Michigan Exposure U camp. It was a 3-day camp, and I went there. I didn't have in mind of being recruited or just having a scholarship or anything. I was really just experiencing my first football camp in the U.S. So I went there 3 days, did pretty good. The coaches liked what they saw, so they offered me a full scholarship. But back to your question of, like, like how different the recruitment is being, like, from Canada is really the exposure that you have is, like, really, really, like, the minimum. So you gotta work a lot harder to, like, get a full scholarship or get the attention of coaches. That's why I had to go out of the border and come do camps down here.
That's a really cool story. So were you playing Canadian football in high school?
Yep.
Awesome. That's really interesting. My my high school team, we played my senior year a Canadian team. They came down to us to play American football, and you could tell they were different with the rules and stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty. The field is bigger. There's one less down.
That's cool.
That was pretty easy to adapt for me, and where I'm from, we played the only thing that's different is the field. Yeah, the field is different. It's a little bigger, but we played with 4-down football, so that was pretty easy to adapt.
That's really cool. Yeah, it is interesting to kind of see the different rules between Canada and American football. But one thing that I am interested about, you mentioned earlier you played some other sports growing up. What sports were those, and when did you decide, like, football is it for me? I'm just going to drop the other ones. I'm going to pursue football full time.
Yeah, I started playing. My mom wanted me to learn, like how to work with a team and all that. But I was still too young to play some contact sports and all that. She wasn't ready for all that, so she put me in the soccer team. So I played soccer for, I think, 2-3 years. At the same time as playing hockey, because hockey is the primary sport from where I'm from, main sport. So I played hockey all the way until I was 13, 14. And after that, I switched to football. But I was playing football at the same time because I started playing football at 9. But I had to pick one sport between hockey and football, to focus on. And I decided to focus on football because I wanted to be that kid that was different. Everybody was trying to go to the NHL, play hockey and all that where I'm from, but nobody wanted to, like, go to college football in the NFL. So I said, I'm going to be that kid that's going to, focus on football and try to, reach my goal. That's why I picked football.
That's really interesting. Was there anybody in your area at all that is playing big-time Division I college football at all that you know of?
Yeah. There's most of the guys that play for the Michigan Wolverines come from my school. So we had a tight end that named Deacon DeBook. We had Ronaldo Sajat. We had Alan Kashima. We had a whole bunch of guys that played for the Michigan Wolverines that all come from my school. So going to, which was like the old Montreal Spartans. So, like, going to that school, I had a couple of information, story behind, like, of the Michigan Wolverines, knowing, like, what they did and how they went there and all that. So that's pretty cool that, it ended up being my school, the school that I picked.
Ben, you're pretty tall for your position. You're 6'3". Did you play basketball at all?
Yep, played basketball too. Yep. Got the height from my dad. My dad was playing basketball and football too. Played football for the University of Miami, so yeah, That's why I got the 6'3" frame.
Your dad played for the U?
Yep, played as a safety in the 80s.
Wow,
Dang.
That's really interesting.
That is really cool. So, speaking of Michigan, you said there were a lot of guys coming from your high school, and obviously they offered you at the camp. But were there any other kind of contributing factors in why you picked Michigan as opposed to some other schools?
Before coming to Michigan, I had to put down a list of all the schools that I had offers from. Then put down a list of advantage and disadvantage of all schools. And the thing that was coming back all the time with Michigan is the networking and education. It's a school here that, even though if football doesn't work out or anything, you have the best of both worlds. You being a student athlete, you have one of the best teams team in college football, and you get out of the school with like one of the best diplomas in America or like in the world. So like education was one of the like main things that I was looking for in college, and Michigan like has it. So that's one of the things why I picked Michigan.
For sure. What are you majoring in, if may I ask?
Right now I'm majoring in sociology, and I took some sports management class and kind of sports business. And I'll be planning on going to grad school to pursue like business and sports management.
That's awesome.
Yeah, trying to get into a double major.
Cool. So if football doesn't work out for you, like in the long run, what would be your end goal with that kind of sports business degree?
I don't know. Probably start like a kind of like a sport business. Probably like a workout place or train people or in the business world, anything related to a company, start something. There's so much the networking with the people. Like you meet a whole bunch of alumni from the Michigan football team or just Michigan, like period, and you can just work with them. They had a spot for you. That they're looking for people that just graduate, to give them an opportunity. That's good. I mean, I'm not sure yet. It's not clear cut what I want to do, but
right.
it'll be clear, with time, and I know I'm being good hands.
Good for you, man. We're really in the peak of summer right now, and I'm sure you're training hard and training a lot. What is a normal day for you, like this week? For what's a normal day for Ben St. Just?
All right, so I wake up at 5. Wake up at 5:30.
Dang.
Walk to Schembeckler to be ready at 6. At 6, I do some rehab, some treatment. A couple of exercises for my leg to keep my legs right, a little stretch and all that. Probably do that from 6 to 7:30. 7:30, get a little something in my stomach, a little snack before the workout at 8. A workout at 8 from 8 to 10. Then after that, from 10 to 10:30, ice my legs, make sure they're good. Take a shower, go back home. Probably take a nap because I'm kind of tired from waking up at 5:30. Wake up, either go for my internship class at the academic center, or probably go back to Shem and just do a little workout again. And I mean, in the summer it's pretty light. If I give you an example of a day during the semester, you wake up, you go to class, probably go to class from 9 to 12. And after that, from 12 to 1, you eat. Then after that, you got to go to Schembeckler. You got meetings for about 2 hours. Then you go down to the training room, get tape, practice, get out of practice, go to the academic center from 7 to 10, go back to your dorm, sleep, and repeat. You have no time off to just chill. Like right now, it's like the part of the year where we have the most time to just relax and have time to do stuff.
There must be something special about during the semester, that grind, but right now it's got to be pretty nice just to relax a little bit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you were mentioning practice during the semester. Whether it be in practice or in game, I'm talking all time, who is the hardest player you've ever had to guard at a wideout position?
Cole Crawford.
Really?
Yeah, Cole Crawford is really good at coming off the line. He's got this kind of weird release that makes you think that he's going this way, but he's going the other way. And as a DB, you want to like put your hands on the receiver when you play press coverage. So like when you miss him, that's kind of hard after that to catch him. So yeah, I'll take Cole Crawford.
That's great, man. What is it like playing for Coach Don Brown?
Man, Coach Brown brings that vibe to the team, that aggression, that energy that you like. You want to go out there and just dominate like the offense, even if it's in practice. In practice, you see us dominate the offense, and then Coach Brown just after he's screaming. And even though we dominate them, you mess up a little something that he don't like, he's gonna scream at you and get in your face and then let you know that he don't like that. He wants you to do better. So yeah, I like him for that. He's a, as we say, he keeps it 100 with you. He keeps it real. He's not gonna fake anything. He's gonna tell you how he feels, and you take it as a tip and advice to get better. So that's all right.
That's sweet. When I always think about a coach, I'm like, how much impact can a coach actually have? And then I ended up watching the Amazon Prime series that followed you guys last year, and I really saw the impact that Don Brown has. As it literally, from the defensive side of the ball, it looked like all those guys would just run through a wall for him.
Oh yeah,
That.
Because just like I said, like he's honest. He respects his player. He cares about us. So you just want to return him the favor by winning games for him.
That's awesome. Being on the defensive side of the ball, you might not get it as much, but how much instruction do you get directly from Harbaugh?
I say really not at all.
Right.
Not really. Yep, it's really separated offense, defense. Like most of the offensive players that don't really interact with Coach Brown or anything. So yeah, as long as if it's a team meeting, then it's going to be Coach Harbaugh that organize it and all that. But if it's not a team meeting, then I don't really interact with Coach Harbaugh that much.
Gotcha.
I'd love to stay on the topic of Coach Harbaugh because I just love Jim Harbaugh. He encapsulates what it means to love football and just is perfect stereotype for what a really great coach is. If you have any great stories about Jim Harbaugh, I want to hear them.
I'd say probably one of the funniest stories was when I was getting recruited. I was here for my first camp and I got offered. He came to pick us up, me and my family, to go to his office, and talk about, everything that just happened today and then the scholarship and all that. And he didn't know that I was French because I didn't have to speak French to anybody at the camp. I was speaking English and all that. And I started speaking French to my mom because my mom didn't understand. And he looks around. He looks at me. He's like, "Are you German? Or you speak German?" No, that's French. Coach. He's like, "Oh, okay. That sounded kind of weird. I wasn't sure." So yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, that is
awesome.
pretty funny.
So what sort of expectations do you guys place on yourself? It's got to be a high-pressure environment, especially with all the pressure of being that U of M Wolverine football team.
I'm telling you, every year there's always that pressure from us, from the outside world, from the fans, from the students, from the media, from everybody that we need to do good. But the thing that's different this year is that we are 100% confident that we can do good this year, that we can be like a national team because we have the players, we have the talent, we have the experience now, we have the confidence now. I feel like this year is it's a little bit different than last year. Last year we had the hype, we had the expectation from everybody and all that, but I don't think we had the confidence and that we could make great things. So it kind of messed up a little bit the season. Not the season I wanted, but this year I feel like we were just it's a different vibe. It's a lot more confidence, a lot more, and just ready to go to the national championship instead of having lower expectations.
Speaking of pressure, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. Do you want to call your shot? What's your prediction for this year?
We for sure in the playoff.
Oh, I love that. I love that, man.
I love to hear those high expectations and that confidence. That's really cool. One thing that I'm curious about is my family, my entire life has been season ticket holders. So I have been to just countless, probably 30-plus Michigan football games. And that atmosphere is something else, being just up in the stands. So take me through what it's like to suit up on Saturday afternoons and play at the Big House.
I mean, I'm in the bus, coming from the hotel and seeing all the people tailgating and clapping and screaming at the bus, being happy to see us and all that. And I just feel like I'm just so happy. I'm just so honored, and blessed to see that. It's just I just don't want to I don't want that moment to go away because I know it's gonna end. Most of people always say, take your time, take advantage of your college time because it's gonna go by fast. You need to cherish it and all that. And I really see that, and I understand what they say. I really want to leave this moment every weekend. I see that because I'm really happy to be in the football team and be able to experience that. Just going in the locker room, suit it up, put the helmet on, get out the tunnel. You hear the fans screaming. You get out, you see 110,000 everywhere. Jet flying over the stadium. It's just and plus as a freshman, I never experienced that. I'm from Montreal, Canada. I never played in front of all these people and all that. So it's just a crazy experience that I wish I could experience every year, but unfortunately it will stop, and I have to go either go to the league or do something else in my life. But yeah, college football. at Michigan is really something special.
Ben, do you ever run out of the field? Are you nervous that you're going to jump up and miss the banner?
No. I always try to do a little something special, a little, I don't know, if it's a 360 or a windmill or something like that. I just, put a little flavor, a little style to mine to my jumps. I know I just like to see that banner when I come out and just touch it. So, yeah. No, I never missed it yet. I don't think I will.
Hey, so I ran a 5K at the big house, and I got to jump and touch the banner. Dude, that's not as high as I thought it was.
No, it's not that high.
So you're 6'3", so if I ever see you while I'm at a game miss that, then there's something wrong with your legs that day.
We'll call you out.
Yeah, we'll definitely
probably
have to call you out.
Ben, you mentioned how in the summer you have a little bit more downtime. What do you like to do when you're off the field to wind down and relax?
I'll probably say me and my friend, Mark Woods, safety in the team, we probably go to the docks near the river, just bring a towel, bring some speakers and just put some music and just chill or just go for a swim in the lake and all. Yep. Yeah, that's probably what we do. Just enjoy the sun and relax.
What kind of music?
I say we listen, some R&B, some old school hip hop rap, some new school. Yeah, pretty much everything. Just turn on the Spotify and whatever plays, whatever. We just listen to it and just relax. To be honest.
I saw on your Instagram you quoted J. Cole.
Yeah, on my pictures from Paris.
I love J. Cole, man.
Yeah. J. Cole got a good vibe. I like that.
That's right.
Speaking of Paris, how are those trips like for you? Because those just looked amazing.
My first time last year was in Rome. It was a great trip. We practiced there and all that, and it's just like it's crazy. It's really in that money that comes for a trip comes from alumni. So that just showed that people that graduate from Michigan still has Michigan at heart. They support and all that. They make that trip come to life because it costs a lot of money. So then again, this year we went to Paris, and then next year we're going somewhere else.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, going to Paris this year, like it was crazy. Like we didn't have no football practice this time, so we had a little more time, explore the city and go learn about some stuff and all that, and being my kind of like my home, my country, because my native language and all that. That was pretty cool, learning a lot more history about it, my culture.
Had you ever been to France before?
No, I've never been there.
So that must have been really sweet for you.
You said what?
I said it must have been really sweet for you, especially.
Yep. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and yep.
Did the coaches try to use you in your French speaking to get into some places?
That's a good question.
Players, coaches, everything. What does that mean?
What does that
say? How can I say this, that?
Ben, you probably were like the most popular guy on the team.
Hey, man, can you order for me?
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah. Hey, speaking a little bit, staying off the field a little bit, I saw you posted on your Instagram story today a little 2K. You a big 2K guy?
Yeah. I play 2K a lot. 2K with my roommates a lot, like probably every night. Argue a lot, play 2K. So yeah.
So 2K over Fortnite then?
I don't know. That Fortnite is kind of universal.
Right.
Everybody
That's true.
Everybody play Fortnite. Not everybody play 2K. Not everybody really a sport gamer. But Fortnite, really everybody on that. So I'll rotate 2K, Fortnite, 2K, Fortnite.
Fair enough. One more question, and this is probably the biggest question we're going to ask you all night. Xbox or PS4?
Gotta go with the PS4. I've been a Sony guy.
Oh my gosh,
Ben.
Oh my gosh.
360 when I was younger.
Okay.
But I had the 3 red lights, so I said never again.
Oh no, the dreaded 3 lights.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Never again.
That's hilarious. So let's move back to football. What is one aspect of your game that you're working to improve on going into this next season?
Technique. Yeah, technique at Michigan as a corner is the best, the most important thing that you do. Technique at the press. When you press, your technique when the ball is in the air, the technique when you're trailing, the technique when you're following your receiver. Because we're getting strong with the new strength staff. We're getting faster, stronger, more flexible, and all that. So it's not really that kind of stuff that I'm trying to work on. I'm really trying to work on my technique. How to jump faster the receiver, how to like stay closer to him, how to play when the ball's in the air, how to play like better and all that. That's the kind of stuff that I've been working on, trying to make me a better player for this year.
That's sweet. And I know there's always room to improve in every category of your game, but at the current moment, what do you believe is your biggest strength playing the defensive back?
My length.
Yeah.
So being tall, my arms being like long, and I'm strong. Like sometimes when I jam receiver, if I can that's the thing, like the technique. Because if you lack technique, you're not gonna put your hands often on the receiver. That's why I'm trying to work hard on that. So when my technique gets a lot better, so most of the time when I put my hands on the receiver and I can grab him solidly, he's not moving. His route is over. So that's one thing that's good about being tall, and also when the ball is in the air, to throw a lot of fades. It's a big receiver that we got in the team that can go up and go fight for that ball, compared to if I was a little smaller corner.
Ben, I don't really know if for other positions you could probably guess. What is the best feeling? Like for a quarterback, it's throwing a nice dime or throwing a big touchdown pass, or for a receiver making a great catch. What is the best feeling on the field for a cornerback?
Receiver thinks he can run a fade, a go on you, and you just right there, the ball coming, you jump before him, intercept the ball game. Yep. The fade is the route that you have to defend, the most difficult route, because it's hard, the ball's coming, you need to turn, you don't see where it's at. So if you have time to look around, turn, and jump, and intercept the ball, that's probably the best feeling.
I agree, and the fade is probably the one route where the quarterback's I know that the wide receiver is going to beat this DB, so if you're able to make that play, it's got to be just a special feeling.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So the feeling of locking a guy down, that probably has to feel good and being part of that. Do you use a lot of trash talk and a lot of mental games to get ahead on the field?
No, I say it depends on what kind of receiver I'm playing. If I'm playing a more quiet guy, I won't waste no energy on trash talking, because I don't think it's not going to affect him the same way as somebody that talks a lot. Somebody that talks a lot, you talk them back, and you're starting to get in his head, making a couple plays on him, he's going to start getting more and more and more quieter. But I say some of the guys too. When you don't say nothing, you make a nice play. You don't say nothing, you get up. It makes them angry a little more. It gets them out of the game, because they see that you don't have no reaction to what they're saying, all that. So you got to just see who you're playing against, and adapt with your kind of trash talk game.
All right, Ben, last question. Growing up, was there a defensive back you looked up to and modeled your game after?
I would say I looked a lot at Charles Woodson, great guy.
There we go.
And Richard Sherman, too. Richard Sherman's pretty similar to me as a corner, and got coached by Coach Harbaugh. All that, yeah.
Yeah, when I was actually looking at your film, I mentioned this to a couple of my buddies, is you looked like a young Richard Sherman, a long, tall guy. Is that kind of the goal, to kind of be like a lockdown corner, kind of like Sherman?
Yeah, for sure.
That's really, really cool. But Ben, man, we really, really appreciate you coming on. It was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun as well. And dude, we're rooting for you this year, and playoff bound. I like that prediction. We can't wait.
Yep, no problem.
Well, Ben, as we said, thank you so much again for coming on. It was super sweet to see kind of an inside look on how the ins and outs of Michigan football came. And I think Wes wants to say a special thank you.
Yeah, it was really cool to have our first actual player who's been active and who's already contributed on the football field. And Ben, thank you for that French lesson. That's going to be very helpful.
Ooh.
And I want to give it a shot.
Let's try.
Merci, bonne chance.
Ooh.
And that means thanks and good luck, Ben. Best of luck to you this season coming up. It was great to have you on. If you ever want to come back, we'd love to have you.
Right, that's right. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Oh, we're learning all kinds of French today. Yeah, for sure. That was a lot of fun. But Wes, I do want to hop in to some sports. Like we were talking about earlier, some baseball. But aside from that, man, it's the dog days.
TCB, I would love to hop into some sports too,
Right.
but we can't.
We can't. What sports are there to talk about that are happening right now? The summer league is done, and who cares? Well, the summer league isn't done, but who cares? And there are so much. Even baseball, the sport that we hate to watch. Dare I say?
Hate to watch.
Maybe they're breaking right now.
Yeah, they're on the break.
So, Wes, what have you done this past week? What have you watched that for any kind of sports fix?
Right, you and I are big sports guys. We
Right.
love anything sports, love being around sports.
Most definitely.
And so I dared to watch some golf even. Not just regular golf, though.
Right.
Celebrity golf.
Ooh.
There was the celebrity golf tournament.
I did take a look.
We had some stars out there. We had Steph Curry, Aaron Rodgers, Charles Barkley, great golfer.
Great golf.
He almost won it.
Right.
He was dead last.
Close.
His odds to win were 11,000 to 1.
I did see that. That's just embarrassing.
But Tony Romo ended up winning it. Very good golfer.
He's a good golfer. He might be able to play on the PGA Tour. Wes, would you rather see him on the PGA Tour or in the booth?
Let's get him on the tour, please.
Yeah, please. We're begging you, PGA.
Yes. So I watched celebrity golf over soccer.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, celebrity golf was very entertaining. They had they were good golfers.
Oh, yeah.
Steph Curry was good. I mean, they had hit some good shots, some great putts, some good highlights. They had Steph Curry and Ray Allen out there shooting threes and dunking.
I did see that.
Aaron Rodgers was throwing passes to a guy on a boat. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun atmosphere. And you want to know something about that celebrity golf tournament? It got me thinking. Yeah, you see all these athletes playing golf, and they're pretty good. They're actually good on the course, especially guys like Tony Romo, Steph Curry, as you were saying. It got me thinking, what could some of these athletes that are playing big-time sports, could they cross over and play professionally in other big-time sports? What do you think? Do you think it's possible?
Right, these are some of the best athletes on the planet, so I do think they are capable, and in the past, they have played other sports.
For sure.
So if you had to take some guys and put them into a different sport, I think they could be very successful.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Wes, I want to start with, let's go with football, American football, the better football, if I may say. Who do you think, out of any of these athletes that we've come to love around the world, who do you think could play football that doesn't already play right now?
You know, someone who I don't like on the court as much, and someone who's maybe one of the best athletes in all of professional sports, Russell Westbrook.
Oh.
Incredible athlete, quick, got great hands. I'd love to put him at receiver.
You know, he probably could play receiver. I don't know if he had the hands. I mean, give him a year. Maybe if you were to give that guy a year, he could make an NFL roster. But like you said, great athlete.
Who do you got?
Listen, for playing football, can we roll it back a little bit?
Yes, I'll allow it.
All right, you'll allow it. So I want to roll back the time machine, say 8-9 years, to when LeBron James, the king, was a 24 to 25-year-old. Give him 3 months, he's starting on over half of the NFL teams at tight end. Do you not
At tight
agree?
end? You put him at tight end?
I put him at tight
receiver?
end. Not at wide receiver, not on the outside. I don't think so. I think he's too big. He's too big
He's
on the
too
outside.
big. Have you seen him this summer? He's looking very thin. I know you rolled back the take.
I know. I did. Well, okay.
Scarily thin.
He was. Yeah, I know.
He's in movie star shape.
Hey, L.A.
L.A.
He's gonna be a movie star.
Yeah.
And he can do whatever he wants. Like, why not? He's the biggest star we have.
But you're putting him at tight end.
I am, and I think that's easy. You don't see a guy that's 6'8" on the outside. Calvin Johnson was 6'5", and he was one of the tallest guys we've ever seen on the outside. Now, you see a guy like Rob Gronkowski, a guy like Jimmy Graham, more that 6'7", 6'8" range, playing tight end and thriving. Put me LeBron about 8-9 years ago, tight end spot for my Detroit Lions. I think he's balling.
So we just plucked from the NBA. Do you want to try MLB? You want to put Mike Trout at running back?
Oh, God. Mike Trout, great baseball player.
It's a different athlete.
It is a different athlete. It is, though. I do think Mike Trout could be a decent athlete in other sports. I just think it's too big of a jump.
He's bred for baseball.
He really is. Oh, he is so good.
Yes.
We are experiencing greatness and nobody cares, and that's sad. That's
I
really
don't care,
sad.
and I don't think it's sad either.
Well, it should be.
That's how little I care.
He might be the best baseball player that has ever walked on this earth by the time it's all said and done.
Good for him. But let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's flip it.
Okay.
Let's see who we can put in the NBA from a different sport.
In the NBA, you want me to start?
What do you got?
Listen, I've got one that might surprise you. Terrell Pryor, wide receiver, used to be quarterback at Ohio State. Very sad. Thought he was going to go to Michigan. Didn't exactly work out. But this man, top 10 in his class in basketball. This guy could ball. He was a McDonald's All-American. I give it easy to Terrell Pryor. If he would have picked basketball, I could easily see him in the NBA.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. Most people don't know that, but yeah, he really could ball back in the day. What do you think?
You know, we might have some undercover guys that probably have a sick jump shot in the NFL, but as far as I know, I'm going to take a little bit of a cheat code. I'm going to take Jimmy Graham.
Hey.
I mean, he played basketball.
Good college basketball player, exactly. Or a guy like Antonio Gates also played.
Gates.
What's it with tight ends and basketball, man? I'm telling you, LeBron James, he could make the jump.
Maybe it's the hands, the size. He's got to have it.
I guess so. I think it's really interesting kind of to go back to your point about these athletes. We are experiencing the peak athleticism of athletes in today's sports around the world. Even soccer. There's the best athletes that have ever played these sports, and it's just going to get better.
Let me tell you who I'd put in soccer.
Yeah.
I want Joel Embiid.
He's too big.
Not too big.
He is.
Just sit him in the box, he'll head the ball in. He's got a foot at least on top of anybody.
Yeah, but he's too slow.
I don't care.
Just sit him in the box?
Yeah.
What about goalie?
Goalie, he could play goalie too. He doesn't even have to dive.
He's a big man, and he grew up playing soccer, so
That's right.
I do like that one. Listen, I'm rolling back to take on soccer. This one's easy. Steve Nash. One of the best soccer players to ever play a different sport, Steve Nash. Even today, I see him juggling just an insane amount. I honestly think he would be, though, don't sleep on Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's a good take, too.
The Black Mamba, he could do something on that pitch. You see, I know something about soccer. Yeah,
good for you.
Hey, speaking of soccer, Westman, did you watch the World Cup at all?
I watched a set of PKs. I can't even tell you who was playing.
Okay.
And I watched the final. But we were just talking about this. Toby and I, we're big-time sports guys.
Huge.
We love sports guys.
Exactly.
We'll watch anything. We'll even watch celebrity golf during the middle of the week. But why is it that you and I were not watching one of the most viewed sporting events in the world?
I agree, and it is the most popular sporting event in the world, and I do not know. The one thing that I was started to think about when I started to think, why am I not watching this huge showing of athleticism in sport is the lack of scoring. The fact that the final ended in a 4-2 game, love it. I loved watching that game. Honestly, I really did. However, the bulk of the games end in 1-0, 0-0, 1-1. I don't want to watch that.
Right. That's not exhilarating at all. And I think the sport is somewhat created in a way that you only get a few shots at getting real excitement. I'd say you get a lot of corners and you get a lot of crosses and you get maybe 1 or 2 goals a game.
Right.
So at its best, you're getting 10 moments of pure excitement. And when there is a goal scored, that is very exciting.
I agree.
If you could give me the sport of soccer and say you're going to get 6 goals scored in every other game, I might be inclined to watch a lot of games.
Right.
But when it's games that end in 0-0 and you get a tie, or you get games that are 1-0 and there's no scoring for 90 minutes, not a fan.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And when people make the argument to me that American football isn't as exciting as like football, soccer, I say, sure, there's a lot of more commercials, right? But at least you're scoring. There's scoring. There's 42 to 35 games, okay? But when you're scoring 1-2 goals a game, come on. I need more excitement than that. And Wes, like you were saying, a maximum of 10 exciting plays in soccer over 90 minutes. Think about how many exciting moments there are in a basketball game.
Right.
Every possession, almost.
And to American football, it doesn't have to be a scoring play for it to be a very exciting moment.
Exactly.
It could be a huge hit, even off the ball. It can be a sack. It can be an interception. It can be a fumble. It can be a field goal. You name it. It's
okay. Wait. Chill with field goals aren't exciting.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe the last 5 seconds
Please
of the game.
stop it.
Kicker.
No, but there's so many different in the other sports that I love to watch. There's so many other moments that are more exciting and you get more of them. Even baseball. Like a strikeout is as exciting as a decent pass or a good cross.
Yeah.
So it's just not a sport that I look at and see, wow, that's a lot of exciting. I'm not going to commit 2 hours to watch that game.
Right, I definitely agree. And it is a big time commitment to watch the entirety of a game. But one thing that I'm interested in, Wes, you were talking about this a little bit earlier, was if these countries that are big time in soccer, if they were able to have access, full access, just like the United States is, to basketball, to American football, do you think those sports would eventually upend soccer in those destinations?
I think objectively, if they're each at their best, soccer is one of the inferior sports on the global scale. And I think it's plain and simple. It's because other sports are more exciting and you get better content, for real. I think one of the reasons the World Cup is so popular is because so many of these countries, soccer is what they have. They've got one or two sports that they're really passionate about, and this is their chance for their country to get the spotlight on the global scale. So after the World Cup, you've got billions of people watching, right? Are the same amount of people watching soccer a week later?
No.
There's exciting tournaments going on, but when it's not national teams on a global scale, it's not exciting. So I think one of the driving forces to the viewership is the national pride, and not as much as the actual sport itself.
Okay, I can agree to you to an extent. However, you need to see, in Europe especially, these leagues, the Champions League, leagues like that have amazing amounts of viewers, even for people in the United States. Obviously not as much in the United States, but that is followed as closely, if not more closely, than these American sports. What do you have to say to that then?
That's a good argument. And one of the biggest things that I see, especially in the United States, we treat even the World Cup and any soccer event, for the average sports fan, it's treated as a side event.
Right.
It's treated as, oh, cool, we get this every now and then. But we look forward to our seasons that come around every year. We pay attention to NBA offseason just as much as we do.
More than the World Cup. And God, to me, that's a little bit sad.
I would have watched the World Cup if the USA was in it.
I definitely agree. I think I would have been more inclined to watch the entirety of the World Cup if the United States would have been in it at all. Don't you think?
I agree. I think the national pride, I'm a patriot. I love my country. I'll cheer for my country in pretty much any sport. You name it. Rugby, cricket, if we have cricket, it's coming soon.
I don't know if we do.
Breaking news, cricket coming soon.
Oh, wow.
And curling even.
Curling's a great sport.
Curling is a great sport.
I feel like I could be an Olympic curler.
The most thrilling sport on ice.
Oh, wow. That's a bold take. Okay, this was an argument I heard. I want to make this quick, but this was an argument I heard the other day, or actually today, that the majority of people that like hockey in the United States also like soccer. Are you kidding me?
Just plain wrong.
That's just wrong.
I think they're on different sides of the spectrum.
They really are. The hockey might be the most violent sport there is.
Yeah.
Soccer looks like the most violent sport because of all the flopping.
Right.
So
yeah.
it looks, both of the reactions are the same. Maybe that's where they got it from.
Yeah, that's possible. I think the fact that hockey players have to wear protective gear just shows you that they're real men, and they're out there on ice with blades on their feet, and they're shooting pucks at hundreds of miles an hour, and it's just a better sport, plain and simple, just because of the scoring. And you mentioned the flopping.
Yeah.
I don't really care for that argument against soccer because they are, like James Harden does in the NBA, it's very strategic. But once it gets to Neymar, and he's flopping 3 seconds after he barely gets touched,
exactly,
that's a bad look.
I do think it's different between the NBA and soccer. Yeah, the NBA, you're flopping to get a call, but every minute, to me, it seems like literally every single minute, there's a guy going up for a header and coming down, not even getting touched, and going down like he just died.
Right. And I think they get more physical harm and abuse and celebrating with their own teammates than they ever get fouled during the entirety of the game.
That's right. Hey, there were some Fortnite celebrations.
Take the L.
Take the L, man. They definitely didn't take the L. France got that dub.
You want to make a good comparison? Me in Fortnite looks like the French goalie.
Oh my god!
On the second goal.
Now that is true. For those of you that did not see that, This French goalie tries to clear it. Doesn't even really try to clear it. Like, kick it to the side.
He tries to juke the guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kicks it right into his foot, and then it goes in the goal.
The guy didn't even have to kick it. Think of that if that was a tie game. Nobody's really talking about that, but think if it was a tie game. That would just be, the world would be just straight up upside down.
That's right. And TCB, let me tell you, this has been an absolute joy for me. It's been you and I, Mike and Mike 2.0. We've had free reign to just trash soccer for the last 15 minutes. It's been a joy for me. And our producer's in the other room. I'm receiving text messages.
Oh, geez.
Quote, "Oh, come on. These two men are absolutely trashing soccer right now." And I'm enjoying it.
Hey, I'm definitely enjoying it. And hey, PPs, if you have something against that, let us know.
Call in.
Call in. Why not? Maybe we'll get a live caller or two next episode defending their great soccer sport. But, Wes, you said we were Mike and Mike. You referred to me as Greeny. Come on,
You're
man.
Greeny. I'm Golick. I was the athlete. People forget.
What?
I played Division I college football.
Okay. Whatever. Listen, with that kind of trash take, we got to get out of here.
Still the best step yet. It has been Mike and Mike 2.0, The Prattle, TCB and Wesman. Best step yet. Thank you, Ben, again.
Ben, again, like he said, thank you. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Peace out, guys.